Well, I'm feeling a lot of things. I'm really excited. I'm a little nervous, maybe more than a little nervous. Tomorrow and through the rest of the week, we're going to be out at Rock Creek Mountain Bike Park, and we're going to be shuttling up and riding down on the newest, coolest prototypes that we have ever seen or ridden. And these things are crazy. So this is a pretty big deal because this is sort of a make or break moment for us in this bike and this whole project. We've got a lot of time invested in this, but we're also ready to pull the plug if it doesn't pass testing. And testing for us is this the best mountain bike? First 2 days is going to be pro level testing, so that's people from Priority, people who've been involved with the project, and some elite select pros to be riding the bikes and giving us feedback. And then the last day, Friday, we've invited some customers to come and ride the bikes and give us feedback. So these are all kind of unprecedented experiences. Getting pros on our bikes, getting customers to come and ride, bikes before they're finished. So it's pretty awesome.
I think that when we first started this and you and Fabian went off to start designing and developing and the drawings started coming back, our whole team at Priority was first like, there's a chain drive, high pivot mountain bike. It seemed a little out of character for us. And my feeling was we have the best mountain bike designer at our fingertips in the family. Let's use it and let's figure out whether it's a Priority, whether it's another company. If we can design and develop a bike that's unique, let's do it. And then it started to get into belt drive, and everybody, I think, got a little more just, what is going on here? How can this even happen on a belt drive? Especially the chain growth or belt growth. How's that going to happen? How are we not going to be breaking belts right and left, and how will this technology work?
I think it sort of just naturally led to a chain drive initially because the type of suspension platform that we were looking for, it was naturally going to have a lot of chain growth. And at the time, there weren't any solutions for that on the belt side of the industry. So I don't think we thought we had a choice but to do a chain drive bike initially. I think when Fabian said, hey, there is an idea, it puts pivots in a place where they haven't been put before, but this is what that would look like. And on a clean slate, drew on a piece of paper right in the middle of a frame, the rocker arm pivot, the main pivot, the idler pivot. And I looked at that and saw that they were aligned and realized we had an opportunity to put another frame member inside the frame. And that's when Stillpoint was born, when we realized that we could both isolate the chain growth and we could also get the type of suspension system that we were looking for. It's very sublet on the bike, but we have this additional member that attaches to the bottom of the top tube and basically welds here in the bottom bracket area. And this allows us to put a position on our rocker arm pivot, our main pivot, and our idler pulley, which would be very, very difficult to achieve on a normal frame without major compromises. And then by isolating all of this here, it left the seat tube untouched, which gives us an enormous length compared to other bikes on seat tube depth. And right now for an enduro bike, it's very desirable to have the longest travel seat post that you can have. And we're able to have even up to a 210 on a S1, depending on how tall you are. And that really gives a lot of flexibility to the range that you can ride this bike. It was sort of an enlightening moment because it didn't apply to a chain or a belt. It was a concept that was a great concept for bikes. It was a concept that was going to allow us to neutralize chain or belt growth in a bike that had a significant rear axle path with other characteristics that were very appealing to us for braking and whatnot. So it wasn't really until we had that revelation in that moment when we knew this was even possible. Currently out here with Grimace, the prototype, the unknown, the mystery. It's going to be a good time trying this out for the first time. I'm very excited after 9 months of working on this bike that Finally gonna get to throw a leg over it, and it should be quite exciting. After we tested both bikes, and I really honestly, in the beginning, didn't have that much hope that the belt was gonna work that well, but I was willing to give it a try. And luckily we co-developed a lot of these platforms, and we were able to see, okay, what are the true benefits of one and the other? And then having the same bike next to each other, with the only difference being the drive system, it finally gave us a chance to isolate what the advantages and the disadvantages were. And as we expected on the chain bike, we had an advantage in hub engagement, we had an advantage in weight. So those things were there. But then when we looked at the belt platform and we really saw the tightness of the bike, the lower center of gravity, the benefit of taking weight out of the rear wheel, the benefit of getting rid of the cassette, which is so vulnerable, and having such better activity with the suspension by having a lighter rear end and lowering the general mass of the bike, that overall dynamically, when you come to gravity riding, there really was an advantage in the gearbox and the belt drive.
We love Gates carbon drive for various reasons. You know, biggest one is obviously low maintenance. You know, no lubrication, much longer life, no rusting. All great things for any type of riding. But I think for this type of riding too, there's a smoothness in going over the idler. So on a lot of high pivots, you feel a lot of grindy chain feel as the chain arcs up over that idler to the rear wheel, and the chain line is constantly changing depending on what gear you're in. That straight line between the idler and the rear sprocket, the belt just runs super smooth on it. So whatever gear you're in, it feels great to pedal. But then there's also, you know, the weight savings aspect of the belt too, because, you know, the belt itself is lighter, and then the rear sprocket is lighter, so you don't have this massive cassette, this, you know, heavy metal chain and derailleur flopping around back there. I mean, that's the other thing, the noise. Like, the belt is dead silent when you hit bumps. It doesn't flop around, it doesn't whack on your chainstay. So the bike just feels smooth, feels great. You can focus on the ride and not feel like your bike is gonna shake itself to pieces.
So I learned to love the belt drive system as we developed it, but then when the Smart.Shift came into play and you could shift under load and you could shift on demand, I mean, then it was so obvious that this is actually the system I prefer. If I'm gonna go to the bike park and ride, and I have all the prototypes in my garage, and I can ride my downhill bike, my chain bike, I ride the belt-driven enduro bike, the one that we come out with.
Well, it's always a risk getting people you don't know to ride something, especially when the stakes are high like they are today. But talking to these people, they're really excited to get on the bikes, and they're really excited to take them on trails that they know. So I think it should be a really revealing experience for us. We're going to get some good feedback from these guys. They know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. So I'm really interested to see what they say.
It was fun for me when riders went out and we had riders test both the chain and the belt side by side. What do you think the percentage was of the riders that came back chain versus belt?
That was enlightening to me, and I think that's why you always have to be willing to learn in this business. The idea of saying that I'm an engineer or I'm a designer and I know all the answers and I know what to expect, you don't know. You know, you have to really go out there and find out what the truth is. And then when I saw the reactions of the test riders, I knew we weren't just convincing ourselves. I knew that people really believe this too.
Belt for sure. Yeah, 100%.
You know, being a mountain biker, I don't really see you guys like a mountain bike brand, but I'm pretty impressed. Like, the suspension platform is really well thought out, and it feels really good. Like, it's a really solid mountain bike.
It's just eating the downhill, but the belt definitely put the power down.
And it felt awesome. Poppy and playful and fun.
It's so much control through corners too, because like as you dig in harder, the rearward axle patch just gets the bike longer and you actually feel like more stable.
Felt like you could move the gears and it picked up faster for you, even if you were slowing down on the brakes, which is really awesome for getting speed.
Switching gears makes it so much easier to be able to pop 3 or 4 gears up in a flash. It's beautiful.
I think it most benefited from the gearbox. I think that was the one where I was literally blown away, and I was like, okay, I would have this bike.
I don't think I'm going back to a traditional drivetrain after switching to the belt. It's quiet, there's less mass, the center of gravity, like there's a lot of benefits. So I'm really happy with it, and for the riding I do, it's nearly perfect.
So for so many years, we joked around about the idea of making a serious mountain bike for priority, and here we are with, in my opinion, the most serious mountain bike in the enduro category. I mean, what does that feel like?
You know, when we started this conversation, Priority had mainly commuter and recreational bikes. That was 4 years ago. Since then, we've developed the 600X, the 680X, the 600 HXT. We have the Gemini. So we've been going off-road and we've been going performance. So we're a lot closer than where we were 4 years ago. Even though we've gotten closer, this is a leap. So I'm excited for it. I grew up only mountain biking. I worked in a bike shop where if you came in with a drop bar bike, we would tell you another bike shop to go to.
Yeah.
We wouldn't service your bike if it wasn't a mountain bike. And that was always funny to me now, years later, having a company that didn't do mountain bikes for so many years and being such a mountain biker, but living in New York City and trying to handle the commute aspect. So we've been inching up, and I'm really excited about where it takes our company. Nothing's impossible. So I think that our customers are going to be really excited for where this takes the company.
You see a lot of outside entities, whether they be a big car brand or whoever, sometimes coming in and saying, hey, we have the next cool mountain bike, we have the next thing. The last thing that I wanted was to rely on your merits, on your past reputation for this bike to sell. I wanted this bike to be legitimate, and we have a product that I don't think people are going to be expecting to come from a company yet like Priority with how early you are in the years of making mountain bikes.